Student, now in this lecture we are going to solve the various MCQs based on the previous lecture. Okay, so see the MCQs. That MCQs I had given those MCQs yesterday. So that MCQs you see that MCQs. Okay, see the MCQ number 1. Okay, number 1, the stamen represent. So this is the first one. The stamen represent. The first option they are given the spermatogonia. Okay. Second option female gametophyte. Then the third option male gametophyte, and fourth option it is the male sporophyll. So what is the answer, student? The stamen represent the male sporophyll. Okay, so fourth option is your answer. So why this is the answer? Why the stamen? It is the male sporophyll, because remember, student, the floral whorl, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, these floral whorls, actually these are the modified leaf. And actually before that, when we see toward the flower it is also a modified shoot. Okay, it is a modified shoot. So the floral whorl, these are the modified leaf. So the stamen, it is a male sporophyll. Okay, means the spore bearing leaf, means the pollen grain developing structure, so that we call it is a male sporophyll. So the fourth option is your answer. Okay, then the question number 2, the male reproductive whorl is. So I think you understand, it is a very simple question. The first option anther, second option androecium, third option pollen grain, and fourth option pistil. So what is the male reproductive whorl? The male reproductive whorl, it is a androecium. Okay, so it is not anther, it is not a pollen grain, and it is not a pistil. So you know that what are these remaining options. Then the question number 3. Okay, question number 3, the individual members of androecium are. Okay, individual members of androecium are: the first option carpel, second option sepals, third option stamen, and the fourth option it is the petal. So what is the individual member of anther? It is the stamen. So the third option is your answer. Okay, then the question number 4, the palynology. Okay, palynology is connected with the study of. So the palynology, it is a branch, it is connected with the study of first option pollen grain, second option flower, third option palms, and the fourth option fruits. So remember, student, the palynology, it is a branch of biology which deals with the study of pollen grain. So what is your answer? The first option is your answer. Okay, then question number 5. See the question number 5. In each anther lobe, 2 pollen sacs are placed. Okay, in each anther lobe, 2 pollen sacs are placed. We are studying when the anther lobe is diathecous, they are having the 4 pollen sacs, and when it is a monothecous, they are having the 2 pollen sacs. So with respect to that, this is a question. The first option, that they are placed transversely. Second option, it is diagonally. Third option, longitudinally, and the fourth option, it is circularly. So remember, student, in each anther lobe, 2 pollen sacs are placed longitudinally. So how it is longitudinally, student? We are seeing the anther lobes. Okay, we have the structure of the anther lobe. Okay, and in this anther lobe, that pollen sacs, they are present longitudinally. Okay, they are present longitudinally. So these are the pollen sacs, and these pollen sacs are filled with the pollen grain. So this is not a transverse position. This is Actually so this is the pollen sacs. Pollen sacs. So student, this position of pollen sac, okay, this position of pollen sac, this is the longitudinal position. This is not a circular, this is not a diagonal, or this is not a transverse. This is the longitudinal position. So you remember. Then the question number 6. See the question number 6. Dash dash is the sterile tissue between two anther lobe. The first option endothecium, second option tapetum, third option connective, and the fourth option it is middle layer. So what is the answer, student? The connective, it is the answer, because that tissue it is a sterile tissue placed in between the anther lobe. You know that when we take a TS of this anther, it is such type of the sectional view we have, okay, and in that at the center what we have, the sterile connective tissue, okay, this is sterile connective tissue. So that is the third option is your answer. Then question number 7, microsporogenesis occurs in first option ovary, second option ovule, third option anther or pollen sac, and fourth option it is pollen grain. So microsporogenesis, where it is takes place? It takes place inside the pollen sac, because you know that what is meant by the microsporogenesis. It is the process of formation of microspores or pollen grain from the microspore mother cell through meiotic division. It is called as a microsporogenesis, and surely it takes place inside the pollen sac. Then question number 8, pollen grain represent. Pollen grain represent first option male gametophyte, second option male gamete, third option partly developed male gametophyte, and fourth option it is the female gametophyte. Yes, it is. The pollen grain represent, what is your answer? The third option is your answer. It is partly developed male gametophyte. So how it is the partly developed male gametophyte? Student, you know that just after meiosis, okay, just after meiosis, the pollen, 4 pollen sacs are formed inside the pollen tetrad, okay, inside the pollen tetrad. These 4 pollen grains are formed. So all these 4 pollen grains, they are unicellular, uninucleated and haploid. So remember student, just before its dehiscence from the anther lobe, there is a one mitotic division, okay, mitotic division, and there is a formation of 2-celled pollen, okay, 2 cells pollen means one cell, it is the generative cell, and another one it is the vegetative, okay, vegetative cell, okay, vegetative cell. So the generative cell and the vegetative cell, this is the 2-cell stage pollen, and you know that student what happened later. So maximally near about the maximum, in the sense near about 80% of the angiospermic families, the pollen grains, they are released at a 2-cell stage, and in few members they shows the release of pollen at 3-cell stage. So this such a type of development, it is we have to say these are the partly developed male gametophyte. So third option is your answer. The pollen grains represent a partly developed male gametophyte. So this is your answer. Then the question number 9. The typical anther is, okay, typical anther is, the typical anther, it is monosporangiate, bisporangiate, trisporangiate and tetrasporangiate. So remember student, we are drawn this structure of this typical anther, and this typical anther, this is a dithecous anther, and that dithecous anther we are mentioned in the revision lecture, that dithecous anther, it is the tetrasporangiate. So what is your answer? Your answer surely the fourth option is your answer, that is tetrasporangiate anther. Okay. Then question number 10. Pollen grains in angiosperm develops from where or from which cell the pollen grains are developed in angiosperm? The first option sporogenous tissue, second option tapetum, third option endothecium, and fourth option it is connective. So surely it is developed from the sporogenous tissue. Okay, sporogenous tissue, or it is also called as the microsporocyte, and from that microsporocyte, you know that through mitotic division the MMCs are developed, and from the MMCs through meiotic division we have the pollen. So what is the answer? The sporogenous tissue. This is the answer of the question number 10, means first option is your answer. Then question number 11, which of the following is fertile tissue? Okay, which of the following is fertile tissue? They are given their first option, the primary parietal cell, then second option tapetum, third option sporogenous tissue, and the fourth option it is the middle layer. So what is your answer? Which of the following is fertile tissue? Surely it is the sporogenous tissue. Okay, it is a sporogenous tissue. So the third option is your answer, that is a small c. Okay. Then question number 12. The microsporangial initial of anther is, microsporangial initial of anther is the archisporium, second option endosporium, third option tapetal cell, and fourth option it is the epidermis. So the third and fourth option it is not related to answer. Then archisporium and endosporium. From this, the microsporangial initial of an anther is the archisporial cell, or that archisporium. Okay, so it is the initial cell which are differentiated from the centrally placed parenchyma in the young anther. Okay, then the question number 13. In anther, pollen sacs are. Okay, आताच आपण बघितलं की त्याच्यामध्ये त्याची पोझिशन अशी इलॉंगेटेड असते. फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इलॉंगेटेड, सेकंड ऑप्शन टेट्राहेड्रल, third option circular, and fourth option it is spherical. What is the correct answer? In anther, the pollen sacs they are elongated, means they are placed from base of anther lobe toward the apex of anther lobe. In the sense, they are elongated. Then question number 14, student. Question number 14. In flowering plants, the archisporium forms. Okay, in a flowering plant, the archisporium forms. First option, wall of sporangium. Okay, wall of sporangium. Second option, wall and tapetum. Okay, wall and tapetum. Third option, wall and sporogenous cell. Okay, wall and sporogenous cell. And the fourth option, tapetum and sporogenous cell. Okay, tapetum and sporogenous cell. So in flowering plant, the archisporium forms, remember, the wall and the sporogenous cell. Okay, wall and the sporogenous cell. So you know that, student, we have studied the microsporogenesis. Remember, in that microsporogenesis, what we have studied, this is the young anther. Suppose they are having the peripheral, the epidermal cells, and they are having the centrally placed parenchymatous cell. So this parenchymatous cell, okay, this parenchymatous cell, one of the parenchymatous cell, okay, one of the parenchymatous cell, they acts as a archisporial cell. Okay, they acts as a archisporial cell. Means this is as usual upper epidermal cells. Okay, these are the epidermal cells. This is also epidermal cells, and this is the archisporial cell. Then this archisporial cell that divides by, okay, this is the archisporial, okay, archisporial cell. They divide by a mitotic division, and they cut, as usual, this is the upper epidermis, and they cut the two cells, okay, the inner cell and outer cell. Okay, from the inner cell, the sporogenous cell is formed. Okay, sporogenous cell is formed, and this outer cell, they form the wall layers. Okay, they form. So with respect to this, they are made the question there. The primary parietal cells of young pollen sac form the wall of the microsporangium and wall of microsporangium inner to the epidermis. Okay, inner to epidermis means this cell. Okay, this cell, when this archisporial cell they divides mitotically to form the two cells. This upper cell means this is the parietal cell. Okay, parietal cell, and this parietal cell they form, student, this parietal cell, actually this parietal cell, okay, this is the parietal cell, and this parietal cell they form the wall, okay, wall layers. And what are the wall layers? The wall layer present inside the epidermis means what are those wall layers? Endothecium, okay, endothecium. Then the middle layer, okay, middle layers, and next one it is the tapetum, okay. So they take part in the formation of this wall layer, and who take part? This parietal cell. They take part in the formation of the wall layer. So this is the question number 15. The primary parietal cells of young pollen sac form the wall of microsporangium inner to the epidermis. So this is the third option is your answer. म्हणजे क्वेश्चन नंबर 15 चा आन्सर आहे स्मॉल सी, म्हणजे थर्ड ऑप्शन. सो वी आर इलॅबोरेट दॅट. देन see the question number 16. Innermost layer of anther is tapetum, whose function is. So what is the function of tapetum? The first option, student, protection. Second option, nutrition. Third option, mechanical support. And fourth option, it is helps in digestion. So what is the function of tapetum, student? You are aware with the nutrition is the function of tapetum. So student, I had provided yesterday these 38 questions. So from that 38 questions, in this lecture we have solved the 16 questions. Okay, 16 questions. So remaining question, this is for your home assignment. So you solve these questions at home with the help of the theoretical part, and then next day I have to provide you the answers of these questions. So with the help of that, students, you correct your answers and you learn more and more. So with this, student, we will stop at this moment.